All right, let's talk about soldering. You know, last week I talked about the Smith little torch that I use. I went through how to light it, how to get comfortable with it, how to set it up with your regulators, your tanks, check for leaks, things like that. All safety precautions. Today I'm going to show you 3 basic principles that I use to solder successfand and they're simple, but they're very important to me anyway. So let's jump in and do some soldering. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get used to our torch. We're going to light it. So and I went through. I'll put at the end of this video. I'll put a link to, you can go back and watch the one that I released last week. So here is my. Let me get my torches turned on first. And then this is my little electric lighter. So we're going to light it. Now, the first principle that I use in soldering, if you are right-handed, you want to get used to holding your torch in your left hand. And I know that might sound a little awkward, but stay with me, because when you're soldering, you don't need a whole bunch of control with your left hand. I mean, you can control the heat and where it is, but it's more important your soldering pick and your tweezers. When you're soldering, you want to be able to maneuver and manipulate the piece, the soldering. If you're soldering 2 pieces together and you're holding one of them, you want your dominant hand to be in control of your pick or your tweezers, so that it just makes things a little bit easier. Your left hand, since I'm right-handed, is a little bit less important as far as dexterity. So I've gotten used to, and for 40 years, I've learned, it's just muscle memory now. It's just automatic. But hold your torch in your non-dominant hand, and that will help you in the long run. So, saying that, first thing we're going to do is light our torch. Now there's a number of different flames that you can use. This would be a reducing flame. You see all of this orange in there? That just means that there's more fuel than oxygen. I use a flame like this, and it'd be a little bit less orange, just a touch of orange there. And I use that for like annealing. Something, if I'm gonna heat something up real slowly, I want to use a reducing flame. So the next flame that I use would be a flame about like this, and you can kind of hear it hissing a little bit. So you want a nice semi-bushy flame. You don't want it like super sharp, like a triangle. That's an oxidizing flame. You use that if you really need a lot of heat. But for soldering, I'll use a flame that's something like this. And if you look, it's just when the orange is starting to leave. So when I'm doing this, I'm adjusting the flame with my fingers. So I can adjust my oxygen, the green one, a little bit more, a little bit less. I can adjust my fuel, the red one, a little bit more, a little bit less. So as I'm soldering, I can do that without like doing 2 hands. So over time, you'll just learn how to adjust these things with 1 hand. Makes it a lot simpler. So I'm going to use a flame. It's kind of a neutral flame. You can watch, there's a little bit of orange there. You pull that back by adding fuel, and I add it until it's just about right there, so it's gone. But it's still not a real super sharp, pointy, triangular flame. So the next thing, that was principle 1. Get used to holding your torch in your non-dominant hand. The second thing is stability. So whenever I'm soldering something, I put my hand that holds my pick on my bench pin, and I want to stabilize my hand so that, because if I'm trying to solder and I'm out here on the trying to manipulate things, it's very unstable. I get kind of shaky trying to adjust solder or move pieces if you don't have anything supporting your hand. So get used to putting your hand on your bench pin or something that stabilizes your hand so that you have a lot more control, so that you're just a little bit more steady. So that would be the second principle, is stabilization, stabilizing your hand that holds your pick or your tweezers, and it just makes things go a little bit easier. Now the third thing, I'm going to shut this off. The third thing is, once you stabilize your hand and you're holding your pick, wherever your pick is naturally going to fall, you want to bring your work to that area, because you don't want to just like put your work out there and then figure out, okay, how am I going to get to my piece and adjust it with my pick. You want everything to be a natural, comfortable environment. So get your hand stabilized in a comfortable place, so you're not like contorted, and you just want to be nice and comfortable. So this is my comfortable place. My hand is right here. My pick comes to here. I'm bringing my work to that area right there. And then I'm going to have my soldering pad. I'm going to put it right underneath it so that if anything drops, it's nice and safe. Another thing is just this area here that you're soldering, you don't want to have any papers. You don't want to have anything flammable. You want it to be a nice, safe environment. So another principle: stabilize your hand, bring your work to your tools so that it's nice and comfortable. Okay, so now I'm set up. I got my hand here. My work is here. I'm going to add a little bit of flux. I'm just soldering this ring shank together. This is Handy Flux. It's a brazing flux that I use for silver, and it works really good. It's just kind of a paste. So I'm just coating the area really good. Now, usually I would dip my piece that I'm soldering in a barrier, which is this right here. It's got denatured alcohol and powdered boric acid. But on this one, I'm not as concerned, because when I'm done soldering it together, I'm going to blacken it to give it an antique look and then polish off the high sides. So I'm not as concerned with a little bit of fire scale. So there we go. We've got our hand here. We've got our torch in our left hand. We've got our work in a comfortable place. The next principle that I use, and a lot of people don't, but I do, I elevate my work by using a third hand. So this is what a third hand looks like. And all it is a pair of tweezers on a solid base, so that you can move things around and adjust it, and it's nice and comfortable. So I put it in there so I can elevate my work, so that, because if I take my work and I just put it on my soldering block, the soldering block will act as a heat sink sometimes. So when I'm heating up the piece, more of it on the top is going to get heated up than the bottom. So I just like to have a little bit more control over the heat that I'm soldering. So if I elevate the piece, then I can come in, I can get underneath it with my torch, I can get here, I can get there, I can get there. So I can control my flame, how it reacts to the piece a little bit more, because it's elevated and I can get my torch around there. So we're gonna light this up again. Get that nice flame. Got my hand here stabilized. I got my pick right there. So what I'm gonna do is slowly heat this up first, because the flux that I use, this Handy Flux, it's water-based. So if I just bring my torch right to it, it's going to boil the water off of that. All the flux is just going to bubble away and it's going to splatter. So what I'm doing is just kind of slowly heating it up, just to the point where the water starts to evaporate. And you can kind of see it, a little bit of bubbling there and stuff. So I'm going to take just a little bit of that solder, put it on my pick. And I got a little piece of solder right there. I mean, the flux, put it on my pick. Now I can pick up solder with the moisture from the flux. So I'm going to heat this up slowly. Now the moisture is out of there, so it's turning into kind of a glaze. So now when it heats up, it's a little bit sticky. So I can heat this up, and once it gets to the point where it's kind of glazed over, now I'm going to take and drop that solder right onto that solder joint. And I've prepped the solder joint before the video, just so I didn't have to go through all of that. I've got other videos on how to do that as well, so just go to YouTube, search the JewelryMonk, and look at some of the old videos. So now I've got my solder in place, I've got my piece elevated, I've got stabilization. So now I'm just going to slowly heat it up, and what I'm doing, I put the solder on the inside of the shank, because this thing that I'm soldering is a ring and it's got design on the outside. So I don't want a whole bunch of solder into that design. So if I put the solder on the inside of the shank, heat it up, it's going to pull the solder through the solder joint and get a little bit less into the design, but it's going to be a nice clean solder joint. So what I want to do is heat up this piece so that both sides of the solder joint are heated up equally, so that when the solder flows, it's going to flow directly straight through. If one side is hotter than the other, the solder is going to flow to that side, because another principle is solder follows heat. So if I put the heat on one side, the solder is going to be drawn to it. It's like a moth to a flame. So I want to heat this up. I'm elevated. I got my stabilization. Everything is nice and comfortable. I'm just going to heat this up nice and slowly. And I'm watching the solder to make sure that it doesn't move, because if it does, then I can take my pick and just push it back to where I want it to be. Now it's right there where I want it to be. I'm just going to heat this up slowly. And there we go. Nice clean solder joint. I'm going to turn my torch off. Now you can see the solder joint is nice and clean. I'm going to set this aside for a little bit, let it cool down, and then I'll put it into my pickle. And what the pickle will do is it'll take off all of the fire scale, and it'll also take off the flux. So when this flux gets heated up, it turns into a crystal glaze, almost like a glaze in pottery. And it's hard, but if you put it in your pickle, which is the pickle that I use is sodium bisulfate is what it is. It's I think it's called Sparex if you buy it. And that will also take away the rest of the flux. So that'll dissolve it. So I'm going to let this cool down, and I'll throw it in a pickle, and I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out. So there we go. We got the ring all soldered, nice and clean solder joint. So those are some basic principles for soldering that I use. And there's other people that use different techniques, and that's fine. There's no absolutes other than things when it comes to safety that work in soldering. These are just basic guidelines that I've used over the years, and hopefully they can help you get a little more comfortable with the techniques that you use. So again, first thing, remember is which hand you're using. Your dominant hand holds your pick and holds your tweezers. Your non-dominant hand holds your torch. Just so that you can, while you're soldering, you can adjust things. You can move pieces around, you can move your solder around, and you just have a little bit more control. The second thing is stabilization. Make sure that when you're soldering, your hands are stabilized. Even when I'm soldering with my torch, I've got my arm resting on my bench just so that it's a little bit more controlled. I don't necessarily have that hand supported on the bench, but I do have it controlled just so that you're not like just hanging your arms out in midair. You got a lot less control over them. So you just want to make sure that things are stabilized. Third thing, bring your work to you instead of trying to solder wherever your work happens to be at that moment. It's a little bit more awkward to try and work there. So as much as you can, get where you're comfortable and then bring your work to you. So, and then the last thing is I like to elevate my pieces when I'm soldering, just so I have a little bit more control over where the flame is and how I can heat it up and move things around, especially if I'm soldering like bezels to a base. I can get underneath it and I can control where the solder is going to go. So I can heat it up, and then once I see it start to flow, I can move my torch around and just watch the solder follow my torch. So it's a neat concept and trick. And like, again, some people use boards that they use all kinds of things. They use nets, they use wires, and that's good. If you're comfortable doing that, I'm not telling you need to do it this way. This is just one way that I've done it over the years, and I found that I have a lot more control over the work that I do. Hopefully that helps you. Again, this last week we talked about soldering setup, your tanks, your lighting your torch and stuff. Just get comfortable with it, because a lot of people have torches, but they're afraid of them, so they don't use them as much. So as long as I can show you some basic techniques that'll get you a little bit more comfortable using your tools, then I think you'll evolve as a better jeweler. So thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss other stuff. Also, there's a lot more content on my Patreon page that is not on YouTube. So if you feel free, go over there and check it out. And if you're feeling generous, go ahead and support that work over there. And thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time. This is Doug with the JewelryMonk Studio.